I think you can use either markers or the map pencils. You don't have to necessarily follow my color scheme, but you have to color the marking. And we have a checkoff list that we're going to do here. So this part we're going to do together. The left side I'm going to check, and then you're going to practice on the right side of the worksheet, okay? You can color code to help you, but you just got to make sure you check off each little box. So the goal is for you to understand the symbols and to how to show that, indicate that on a diagram. So I'm gonna start off red. Okay. All right, so it says right here, this first box, line M, they're referring to this line, this top horizontal line. And then this symbol, do y'all remember what this symbol means right here?
Parallel.
Yeah, parallel. Okay, just in case, I'm gonna write it down. So this line M is parallel to DF. DF is here at the bottom horizontal. To show parallel, guys, we have to mark the lines with arrows. Okay. So you would put an arrow on the top horizontal line and an arrow on the bottom horizontal line. So I did mine with red. Just pick a color you want to use, and we just indicate showing parallel with arrows. So there's the first one. Hold on just a second. I just realized I forgot to do it. Okay, so now I'm going to go blue for my next one. Pick a color. Do y'all remember what this upside down T means? Yeah, okay. All right, perpendicular, very good. Okay, if I have perpendicular, you mark it with a box. So we have to put a box on those perpendicular lines. I'm putting the word box. Okay, so AB, which is this segment here, is perpendicular to AC, which is this long segment here. So I'm putting the box right here at A. So we're going to check that one off. Okay. So to show perpendicular, we need to see a box to see right angles, because perpendicular means these lines intersecting, forming right angles. Now I'm going to go green for this next one. Here it says point E is the midpoint of DF. Midpoint is the key word. Okay. To indicate a midpoint, you're going to need to see tick marks. Okay. So E, I'm just going to color this point E green. If E is the midpoint of the whole bottom line here, or segment DF, then the tick mark has to be between D and E and E and F. So we add the tick marks. So we can check that one off. I'm going to go orange here. So this next task says ray. This symbol is for ray. So ray bisects angle FEC. Because we have this symbol, this is an angle. Okay, and we have the word bisect of an angle. So this is showing angle bisector. So you're going to have two congruent angles. And to see that, you need arcs. Okay. Bisector here is showing two congruent angles, so we need arcs. So this ray from E to H right here, this is the bisector. I'm just going to indicate that's the bisector. Okay, just to make sure we understand. So this ray is bisecting the whole angle. And I'm just going to highlight that angle. It's bisecting this angle CEF or FEC. So we have to put the arcs on either side of the ray. Okay, so I put an arc here. The curve should be in the interior of the angle. And then I'm going to put an arc on the other side of that bisector to indicate two congruent angles. Okay, so we have that one done. Now, on the next item, we have angle JCI and ACE are vertical. So the key word here, and I'm just going to go purple, is understanding what vertical means. When you have vertical angles, that means you're going to have two congruent angles. So again, we need arcs to show that. So if I find my angle JCI, that angle is, I'm going to go blue right here, JCI is here, okay? When you put the arc on the angle, guys, you have to put it in the interior, so by the vertex. So if I'm going JCI, the arc should be like such, okay? Now, vertical angles are across from each other. So if this is JCI, vertical to that angle is the angle here, ECA. They are across from each other. So that means we're going to put an arc on that angle as well. So that's marking vertical, seeing the two arcs. So went ahead and did that one. So I'm put a check there. Now on this next statement, this is saying segment, and I'm going to go burgundy or maroon here. Segment AB is congruent. Y'all remember that symbol showing congruent? Since we have congruent segments, we need tick marks to show congruent segments, to show that symbol. So find AB. We're going to now, you see how we already started off with a single tick mark over here with our D, E, and E, F? Well, because we're doing another tick mark, I now need to do two tick marks to indicate that it's different from the original one. So I'm going to put two tick marks between AB, and then over here at CJ, I'm putting two tick marks. And we're done with that. Now, the rest is just labeling, because it says right here, they want you to, and I'm going to get a color. I don't know. I guess I'll try this one. They want you to label the angle DEC as angle 1. So this means we have to put the number inside the angle. So I find angle DEC. Here's my D to EC. Angle 1 has to be inside where the vertex E is. So there's my 1. There's my number 1 right there. So we labeled that one. Then they want us to label angle ACJ as angle 2. So I find that A to C to J, that's over here. I'm going to put the 2 in the inside, in the interior of the angle. So I check that one off. And then they just want us to label line DF as line K. So that means we need to put a cursive K on this bottom line DF. And we did that one. Okay. So the goal on this marking is to put the correct symbol to indicate the relationship, the vocabulary word. So this one we did together, okay? Then you're going to practice marking. You have 4 diagrams that we're going to mark. And if I go to number 1 here, you can color code to help you if that's better. Let me fix this. Where's my thing? Just gonna make this a little smaller. There it goes. Yeah, so we can see it. But we just gotta do each one. So like for this first one right here, the symbol is angle. Angle GYT is congruent. That means equal congruent to angle THS. So if I'm going G to Y to T, this requires arcs. If I'm talking about congruent. So you have to put the arc at the vertex. So when I check, I'm just going to check that the arc or the marking is at the right spot. If it's an angle, it should be where the vertex is. So there should be an arc at Y and an arc at H to show those two angles are congruent. So we finished that one. All right, now if you look here, the next one, TG is congruent to ST. All right. So what markings are we going to need here for on these segments that are congruent? Do y'all know which one we're going to use? Camera? Yeah, we're going to do the tick marks. So we need the ticks. You're right. Okay. So I need to put the tick mark between the letters T and G. So here's T and G. Put a tick mark there. Here's S and T. Put a tick mark there. Did that one. And then our last one, what is this symbol again indicating? Parallel, right? So what do we need? Arrows. There we go. Good. All right. So from Y to G, that's this vertical line right here. I'm going to put an arrow on that line. A diagram could have multiple markings. I could have an arrow and a tick mark. That's fine. And then HS, it would also have the arrow. And then that takes care of that. Okay? So here's what you're going to do. If you are done with our worksheet, let me go to the front. This worksheet right here. Okay? Then you can work on your markings. All right? Also, if you're done with the ALEX, there's an ALEX assignment. Then you can work on the marking worksheet. If not, I'm trying to give you class time because I know not everyone has a compass. So you might have to use a compass for this worksheet. And I know sometimes we forget to do ALEX at home. So if you still need to do ALEX or the worksheet, you need to do that now in class because that's due tomorrow. The markings, that's going into the next unit. So that's not a grade this 6 weeks. All right. So I want to give you class time to finish any assignments that needs to be addressed. Okay. Worksheet, you're doing the construction worksheet or the ALEX?